Basically in this demo I have selected sourcedemo.com as a application which is like freely available over internet, which is basically a dummy e-commerce website which I have used. So if we talk about like test design and writing of the same, so here I will be taking two major functionalities of it, like login functionality and the product purchase process. So objective of login functionality is basically this is kind of to make sure that correct users are able to log into the system and also prevent unauthorized user from the system. So key scenarios that we will be covering inside it will be like user with valid credentials would be able to log in, user with with invalid credentials wouldn't be able to log in, handling of logged out users, and also the users with empty credentials shouldn't be able to log in. And for product purchase, the objective is to check, make sure that end-to-end product purchase process of the system is working fine. And the scenario that like basically we need to cover are like we should be able to add single or multiple products to the cart, and they can be removed, and the end-to-end purchase process should be successful. And also if user hasn't added any product to the cart, so the checkout should not be happening. And we talk about like test strategy. So basically we'll be using Selenium WebDriver binding available in Python to automate the some of the test cases that I'll be showing over here. And if we talk about like test cases, so this is kind of how a single test look like. So it will be having step by step processor and the expected result. So like for a login, you if you open the website, enter correct credentials and click on login button, so it should redirect to the inventory page. So similarly for the other test cases, and similarly for the product purchase itself. And if you talk about like rational about login functionality and purchase product purchase process from business point of view, so the completeness, the testing of login feature should be properly done, it should be properly implemented, because it is entry point of any system, right, making it critical functionality of any system, so it should be reliable. And relevance, so basically it is very relevant because only authorized users should be able to log in, unauthorized should be avoided. So it is kind of security, from security point of view it is very relevant. Alignment with business, so only authorized users should be able to enter the system and able to perform purchase option, purchase process, because it is directly linked with the business, right. And if you talk about like purchase process completeness, so this feature is kind of core feature of any e-commerce website, so it must be properly tested and implemented. And relevance, obviously it is very much relevant because it is a core functionality, and all the kind of test cases, positive, negative, and edge cases should be covered. Alignment in business, okay, so this is being a core functionality, it is directly linked with the revenue of the e-commerce business. So it is very much aligned with the business, so that's why this has been covered. And if we talk about like test case writing, so we can write test cases using this format, like test case id, title, presentation, step, and expected result. What like similarly for all the test cases, right. Now so this is kind of summary. So completeness, this test design basically covers all the like about talks about strategy and test design, how they'll be looking like for this demo website. And then each test is relevant to the common user interface, which basically on a day-to-day basis users interact with the system. So for demo purpose, I'll be using Selenium along with Python, and I'll be covering couple of test cases from login, and then one end-to-end flow from purchase end-to-end, right. So let's create one repository on GitHub. So let's name it maybe Spark Rock maybe, and make it public, and Python license 2, let's create it. Okay, now let's copy it, let's clone it locally. So I've already make a folder called Spark Rock Take Home, so let's clone inside it. Okay, so the repository is cloned now. Let's open VS Code. So okay, so now inside Sparkrug there is this git ignore with that. Now let's create the folder structure inside this. So we'll be having couple of folders. One will be app, which will be containing the code for supporting library or page object models, and then there would be a test folder. Sorry, this is file that I created. Let me delete this and create a folder. Mm, let's create an app folder. Let's create a test folder. Sorry, it will be outside only, right? App. Oh, let me delete from here. Oh, let's delete it from there. App, and then inside here only test, and then inside here only common. So it will be having common utilities, and then we need to have couple of files over here like contest, which will be kind of having setup file. So let's create that as a contest.py. I'll explain everything, and then conf.env for configuration related stuff, and then pytest.ini for markers. Okay, I think we are good enough to go with. So let's create these init files to make it a package. Okay, great. Now let's do one thing. Activate virtual environment, Python virtual environment 3-env so that things are contained. Okay, now let's activate it. Source venv bin activate. Okay, great. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be basically needing two Python packages. So let's install those. One is pytest, and another one will be selenium. Oh, I think I have created this outside. Oh, let me delete that. So no worries, that is fine, I think. Let's do pfreeze and move it to spark rock requirements.txt. Okay, so we have got our requirements.txt as well. Perfectly fine. Cool. So now what we'll be doing is So basically what we have done over here is we have created a couple of folders. So this app will be basically having all the pages related to page object model for creating, you know, wrappers around that website. And then common will be having a utility file, and then test will be having the actual test. And this conf.env will be let's put VNV as well over here, so that does not, you know, get uh, added to the git. Okay, now, okay, so contrast will be having let's write the URL, username, password, URL. So the URL is basically http saucedemo.com. Okay, let's try to open this, whether it's working fine or not. Sorry, there is a mistake. Okay, it's working fine. So let's, okay, so now it is having a username which we can use. It was provided on website front page only, so that is for demo purpose only. So we can use and put here as well, visual user, and then password is um, secret sauce. Okay, good enough to go with this. So now inside contrast it will be basically a setup file. So we'll like, this is kind of an entry point which where we'll be having couple of setup which will get involved, and it will be creating the driver instance and all those stuff. Okay, so let's start with this uh, import pytest. Now create a pytest dot fixture. uh, Scope will be session label because these are the session based fixture, and it will be true only. Fine. Now create this setup. Okay, so what we want to do is we basically want to create the driver instance over here. So let's from Selenium import WebDriver. Okay, so we'll be creating an instance, and by test.driver equals to WebDriver hyphen Firefox we will be using. Okay, and then maybe we can yield, and after this so yield will be basically taking control. So like first this will get executed, and then it will be yielding control to the test, and after the test is executed, so it will be kind of tear down, so where we can quit the driver basically, to make kind of clean up part. Okay, perfectly fine. So this next step would be next fixture would be to have a function of fixture to read the config file. Okay, so let's create that. Pytest.config, it's an empty directory with